Okay, so today I want to talk about a viewer emailed me, and he's saying that he's going through a breakup and he feels depressed and stuck, and he's coming to have a 5-year relationship with a gal that I guess just tore him up. So he's going through the ropes, and I want to let you know something that a lot of people don't realize is when we're going through these traumatic events and these traumatic experiences in our lives, what we don't understand is that this is a huge opportunity to learn about ourselves and grow. And traditionally, what ends up happening is it causes mass chaos and destruction in our lives. So I want to share with you how you can change your life becoming complete disaster, chaos, and destruction, and go into something that can build your life, and you can really gain a lot of insight about yourself. Because this exact same thing happened to me, and it was destroying me. But until I figured this out, now all of those traumatic experiences I've had, strong emotions that I've experienced, I've been able to shift those and turn those into positive emotions and things that I build my life with. So it's completely possible to take a traumatic experience and grow and learn from it. So I just want to share with you how I do that and how I figured that out. So I was in a similar situation that this guy is in. I had a relationship with a gal for like 5 years, and all of a sudden she walked out one day and said she's never coming back and she's got a new guy. So of course, you're deeply invested with someone at that point, and in society there's no ways to understand coping and to really understand trauma. So what ends up happening is your mind and your body, your psyche, is going to cope no matter what. And it's you trying to make sense of the situation. And what we're taught and what's given to us in society is escapism, with drugs and alcohol, the computer, TV, gambling, all the bad stuff. Ways that you can escape your reality and forget about what's happening to you and what you're feeling. And when we take that path, that emotional experience, that traumatic emotional experience that we had, is huge. When we take the path to ignore it, what ends up happening is it causes chaos and destruction, and it destroys our lives. That's exactly what was happening to me. I had no idea how to deal with what I was experiencing, so I chose to drink and smoke weed and just ignore it. And ultimately, several years down the line, that caught up to me, and it reached a really dangerous situation. And so it goes to show how powerful those experiences are, because it takes a lot of energy to destroy your own life. I mean, you have to think about it, think about that, because I was actively destroying my own life, and that took a lot of time and focus and intention, which all boiled down to a lot of energy, to destroy my life. And if you think about it in terms of intention and effort and energy, why can't you turn that a different direction and use that emotional traumatic experience to learn and build and grow from? And that is the trick. What it boils down to is you have two choices. And choosing is your source of power. That's one thing you have to realize, is you have free will, and you have the free will to decide. And you will make a decision whether you realize it or not. I made a decision to run and hide from my traumatic experience and start destroying my life. But if you're conscious and aware, you can choose to make a different decision. And with trauma and emotional experiences, the two choices are this. The first choice is you live by the trauma. Living by the trauma is you running from it and the trauma destroying you. And it essentially it means that the trauma rules your life. All the decisions you make are based around that traumatic event ruling your life. So that's the bad way to go. That will destroy your life. The trauma is controlling you. The other choice is to live with the trauma. to accept the experience and to move on from it. And that's the whole thing. You either live by this event or you choose to live with the event. So those are the two choices. So we already know what choosing to live by the event means. Let's figure out how we choose to live with it. So this was the exact situation I was in, just what this guy is experiencing. I was super depressed. I was stuck in a small town. I found myself alone. I had no money. What are you going to do? This is what I did. This is what worked for me. I sobered up, 100%. You have to sober up, because drinking, smoking weed, doing drugs, all that is just going to keep you in la-la land, and you'll never be able to face what is affecting you. The thing is when you choose to escape something, it's always going to be chasing you down. It's just a monkey on your back. You have to turn around and face that thing. And you have to start feeling all these emotions. Because when you do that, that's when you begin the processing. So this is healthy forms of, this is coping in a healthy way. Coping in an unhealthy way is the first path, by living by the trauma. That is still a form of coping. You're still releasing the energy, but it's still destroying you. And the behavior that you're choosing to ignore it, you're really not releasing it, you're just choosing to ignore it. And that ultimately leads to destruction. But the healthy way to cope is to face it and to start turning your attention and everything into yourself. You have to sober up. You have to start thinking long and hard about facing what you're running from and starting to feel it and to understand it. And inevitably what will happen is, it'll be really hard to face those emotions. But there's a way that you can start to release all of those emotions. And what worked for me was just forgiving myself. It sounds like, how could it be you just forgive yourself? Yes, that's exactly what you do. And first I thought I had to find the people that hurt me the most and I had to forgive them. But I realized that's actually not it. When I did that, I realized that they really had nothing to do with my healing anymore. You have to let those people go. You got fucked over. It's like, forget them. Don't give them any more energy. What you do is you have to forgive yourself. And it's this simple. You just have to state this over and over again. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Just say that to yourself. However many times it takes, man. Say it every day. Say it before you go to bed. And you'll get a feeling inside like that gives you goosebumps. That's when you know it's working. So forgiveness is this, it's like, I call it the linchpin between negative and positive. So you're stuck in this negative realm and, your trauma is destroying you and it's a lot of negativity and hatred. This is exactly what I was experiencing. A lot of hatred to myself. As soon as I sobered up, I was facing what I was dealing with and I started to just forgive myself. And it's not like I was forgiving myself for being a drunkard or an idiot, whatever. It was just forgiving myself. It started to transition me into this more positive mindset. And it helped me shift my mindset and my perception. And it allowed me to begin to start letting go. So I sobered up, started to forgive myself. The other thing, which is key, is to now start practicing healthy forms of coping. So what is healthy coping? Exercise. That's a huge one. Just, you're feeling like shit, just go for a run, go for a hike, hit the gym. Because you have all this stagnant energy into you. You got to move all that energy. Just move it the fuck out. Exercise is huge. Reading and writing, anything that's going to activate and stimulate your brain and your mind, just start doing that. These are all healthy forms of coping. Anything creative, if you play music, if you do art, if you like poetry, all these things are here for us to take advantage of, and they're tools. that help you process emotion and feel emotion and analyze it and begin to accept it. And that's the big thing is you're living with this traumatic experience. And what you're doing is you're leveraging all these tools to learn from this experience. Because what's going to happen is it's going to open your mind to who you are as a person. Because that's the whole thing. That's the power with these traumatic emotional experiences, is that they open you up to understanding more about yourself. And that's where these things are actually, I see them now as more positive. I wish we just had the mechanisms in place where where this bullshit happened to us, where it's like, here's everything you need to process this, cope, and learn from it and grow and become a better person. But it's not there. That's why I'm trying to share this with you, because I had to figure it out on my own, but it worked. So it is possible. So we're coping in healthy ways. And just think to yourself, like what makes you feel good that's positive and healthy and is like, think about, you're building yourself up. You're investing your time and energy into yourself. And ultimately, use that traumatic emotional experience as fuel. Because like I said in the beginning, how it takes so much energy to destroy your own life. If you can start forgiving yourself and using that as the linchpin to tip the scale towards the positive side, now that energy that was destroying you is now building you up, and it's fuel and motivation. And it's there, because if it was there to destroy you, it's definitely going to be there to build you up. So that is, you got to just think of it in, visualize that, try to understand that, because the energy is there no matter what. So, we're coping, and we're dealing with our emotions, we're facing them. One thing that I really like to do is, it's like contemplation, or like consciously meditating. And this is huge, man. Like, you gotta unplug. Get away from the constant fucking earphones, listening to dubstep or whatever, man. Like, pull those things out. Be with yourself. It's okay to listen to your own thoughts. If your thoughts are driving you mad, and it's like, you don't want to listen to your thoughts, this is what you do. Go to the forest and go sit by a stream. What the stream does, when you sit by the stream and you just consciously meditate, I'm not saying clear your mind, no. We want those thoughts to run. The water and the river pulls thoughts. It will pull emotion, everything. You'll get, just let the thoughts run, sit by the river, it will pull them right out of you. That is the best form of therapy that I found. All this stuff adding up, but spend time by a river, by a creek, by a stream. You need running water. It's like when you get into the forest and you're consciously meditating on observing your thoughts, you're just being the observer of your own thoughts. It will pull them right out, man. And the good thoughts will start to come back in. You'll have ideas. That's a really helpful tool. Another big part of this is, so we're trying to get over this emotional traumatic event. We're super depressed, We're doing all the wrong things. Now we're down the good path. We're coping. One thing we have to keep in mind is that all of what we're doing is we're really focused on ourselves. And that is important. We want to put our attention, our energy, our time, our main resource, which is our time. You know what I mean? You have to understand time is your most valuable resource in life. And it's how you choose to use that time. So we're using our time and our focus to better ourselves. But let's say you're still in a rut. You're still feeling negative. It's still eating at you. This would get you out of it so fast. Go fucking volunteer somewhere. Go spend your time. Give your time to other people. And, go to the library, or go to a homeless shelter, or go to here there's a local firewood place where you can just go chop firewood, all day and stack firewood. And it's a nonprofit. Stop just solely thinking about, your own trip. If it's still not working and you're still feeling depressed, when you go volunteer your time and start helping other people, and you start hearing other people's stories and other people's perspectives, it'll make what you're experiencing seem super insignificant. And I'm not saying like what you're experiencing isn't significant. It obviously is, and it's a big event in your life. But when you volunteer your time, it's like a pause. Like I'm pausing, focusing on my bullshit, and I'm just like taking a break, but I'm giving a valuable resource. And people love that. And ultimately good will come from that. And that's kind of like a karmic reward. If you're able to spend some time, donate it, connect with people. Everyone really likes it, when people show up to help out. So that will snap you out of your negativity really quickly. And you'll see that other people have it a lot worse than you do. And I certainly did that. I did that firewood thing, and I donate firewood to people and give my time in that way. So, continuing on with this, the whole thing is this now becomes a lifestyle, and this becomes a practice. And when you start embracing this kind of, observation and awareness of yourself and how you're feeling and emotions that come up and arise, because you'll find that, okay, you have this traumatic event and you're moving through it, you're processing it, you're understanding the emotion, and you're letting it go and you're accepting it, that more stuff will come up. There might be deeper things. Because for me, I started out on this whole journey of like facing my problems I was running from for my whole life. And it led me down like, dude, I had a whole fucking list of problems. It wasn't just this chick that, ran out on me. That was just the beginning. That was icing on the cake. I had to go down a massive list of problems that ultimately led me to my biggest problem, which that was experiencing 40 years of narcissistic abuse from a parent, which is like, a whole nother can of worms. But I started out with this first emotional traumatic event. I processed it. I learned. I grew from it. I sobered up. I got strong, vibrant. I used that to then fuel me to start facing other emotional problems. Because I found I still had angst, I still had anger, I still had anxiety, I still had depression. And I realized that, hey, this emotional event, that I thought was like the big one, it wasn't the big one. And there was deeper problems. So you'll probably find that with yourself, especially if it's a girlfriend that's, emotionally abusive to you. She's probably a narc, you're probably trauma bonded, and you got bigger fish to fry. But these are skills that now you have this skill, and this is life. These are skills of life that we don't learn. And once you start practicing them and you become aware, because that's where this all begins. It's all about being aware and understanding that this is all possible, and it just takes practicing these skills. And so these are the skills that help me. And I think the biggest thing is, since we're all different, and what worked for me, some of it might work for you, 100% it might work for you. I think most of it will work for you. But you'll have to find your sweet spot. Your sweet spot might be hiking in the forest or going camping. That might be your big release where you can get your contemplation and your understanding. It might be doing art, or sitting by a stream, or running, or, I don't know. You have to find that for yourself. But you just have to imagine and conceptualize that coping will happen no matter what. And you have to design the program that works for you. So try the things, that work for me, and you'll find what will work for you. So the next part of all of this, and the volunteering touches on this next aspect. The next aspect is human connection. The worst thing you can do, and I just ran into a friend of mine who is going through a shitstorm with his ex-wife. They're like fucking suing each other. They're tied up in court. It's like over $100,000 in lawyer fees, all over a custody battle for their kid. And I asked him, and this has been happening the last couple of years. And I asked him, how are you coping with this? How is this affecting you? And I was like, are you meeting any new people? Are you dating? Are you getting human connection? And he's like, no, I'm completely shell-shocked. And he's like, I don't trust anyone. And that's a problem. It's important to remain open to human connection, because connecting with other people, finding your tribe, finding a good partner, all that will help in the healing process. And take the time that you need, but it's important to leave a candle lit in the window of the possibility of good people being out there, because they are. And you deserve to have a good partner, whether it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend or ex, whatever it is. You deserve that. Everyone deserves that. And what you'll find is you start building yourself up, and you are focused on, leveling yourself up. You're improving. You're facing your demons. You're letting all this go. You're putting your time, effort, energy into yourself. And you have transformed into now a new version of yourself, and you're better than you were before. And what's going to end up happening is your vibe is going to be altered and different. And now the people that you used to attract in the past, like that shitty girlfriend that you attracted, who's a piece of shit, your vibes don't connect anymore, because you're up here, because you're bettering yourself, you're building, and you're making a whole new version of yourself. Her vibe is down here, down in the muck, because she's a muck. She's in the muck. She's waiting around the muck, and she'll find another dude in the muck. You're up here now. So what ends up happening is, now that you've elevated who you are as a person, you've transformed into this newer beast mode of yourself. You're meeting people up here that have the high vibe, and that's exactly what happened to me. I was bettering myself. I was letting go of all my emotional trauma. I accepted it. I was like, I just want to move on. I started to visualize what I want. I wanted to connect with people. That's a huge thing. Is you have to know what you want when you find it. So just think of those people you want to connect. Stop that mantra of everyone is a piece of shit, everyone's out to get me, I don't trust anyone. Start visualizing exactly what you want, because what'll happen is you'll be somewhere, and exactly what you visualize will come to you. That's exactly what happened to me. I mean, I visualize my wife now to the T, man. All the attributes, the persona, the characteristics, everything. I got super clear. I put it out into the world. This is the kind of person I want to meet, and my vibe was high. She walked in the door. Boom. We met, man, in a bar. I don't even drink. I was just out in a bar hearing music. So people are a other part of the equation. And if you just lock yourself in your fucking room, and close the door and sit on the computer all night, you're not going to find the person you want. You have to go out into the world. You don't have to be scared of the world anymore. The world is a great place, and there's amazing people out there. The way you meet these people is you just have to cross paths. And to cross paths with people, you just have to get out into the world. And, you don't have to, not go to a bar because you don't drink. A lot of people don't drink now. And actually, when you go to a bar to hear a band and you don't drink, it's kind of comical observing all these people as they get shithoused. And about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, everyone is just tanked. And you're stoked, man. You're hanging out. Everything's cool. And you're watching everyone, go crazy. It's kind of entertaining. And, you just got to start putting the energy out there. I know a ton of people, man, who are, they've experienced this traumatic event, and they don't want to face it. They're hiding from it. And they just go into their house, and they shut the fucking door, and they just zone out on YouTube, Netflix, or fucking tug pics. You know what I mean? you want to relax and watch some shows. I understand that. But man, get out of the house and just start doing stuff. Go to concerts, go to the park, go hiking, walk around, go to the gym. Just go to these places. And when you imagine the kind of people that you want to connect with, and you will know when your paths cross, and your vibes, you will harmonize. That's what ends up happening is they are humming at a certain frequency, you're humming at a certain frequency, and your frequencies harmonize. Because that chick that's in the muck, you don't harmonize with her frequency. So she's down here, and stay out of the muck. You want to be up here. So those are the key points. And this is really how you get yourself out from that rut. If you're stuck, if you're depressed, if you have anxiety, all these feelings are telling you. They're telling you to take action. That's what these are for. These are alert systems. We are emotional beings. Emotion is more powerful than what you realize. Emotion is like the spark that can ignite a forest fire and destroy you, or it's the force that can build and change your life. And it's just important to understand how powerful emotions are. I feel if we truly understood our emotions, we can do anything. And those of us who experience these incredibly deep emotional tragedies, I feel are special people. I feel like if you've experienced a huge traumatic event in your life, you have this capacity now to experience and feel emotion that other people don't have. And you can leverage this well of emotion to change not only yourself, but you can change other people and you can change the world. There's a reason why society tells us to ignore our emotions, because we're ignoring this incredibly powerful force that we have within us. And all we have to do is just face those emotions and just start to understand them and face them and feel them, and they will teach us and guide us. And before you know it, this experience that you had will transform your life. And I'm 100% confident that we have the capacity to do this. And it just takes practice. So write the skills down, whatever, the 3 steps, 4 steps to getting through all this. But it's totally possible. And let's leverage this event that, is holding you down. And let's turn the tide, and we'll start building your life with it. That is the key. You can do it. I did it. And just start investing your most valuable asset, which is your time. And think about where your time is going, because I was investing my time in destroying my life. And as soon as I stopped investing in destroying my life and started investing into building my life, everything changed. So you have a huge capacity within you. And let me kind of let you in on this big secret is once you figure this out and you get your confidence and your energy and, none of this is weighing you down, you have more work ahead of you. We have a big job to do. And I don't think a lot of people understand that, is we have a big job to fix what's going on. We have a higher calling, and part of these videos and the channel and the tools that I want to give you are to completely fix you and to get you into work mode. We have work to do. You actually have a calling, and it's a very high calling to change this fucked up situation we're in. And that is why we're here. So that is the big secret. And I hope you accept the challenge. Let's get through all the emotional bullshit that's weighing us down, and we'll leverage all that to build ourselves up, and then to start powering us so we can figure out. We need to figure out how to fix all of this, how we can really start thriving in this fucked up world. That's the goal. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate your time, and new location for the video. Okay, have a good one.